Hi everybody, my hair looks really shitty. I'm sorry, I tried to do it like Princess Leia buns, but it just didn't work. One side looks like a bun, one side just looks like a floppy mess. Did my best. Wanted to look like Princess Leia today because today we're gonna be talking about Obi-wan Kenobi. I'm so excited to talk about this show. The show I was highly anticipating. If you know anything about me and my love for Star Wars, is that the prequels are like my everything. I love the prequels. I don't care how shitty they are. I don't care. I love them so much. I love Anakin. I love Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love Padme. When they announced they're gonna make an Obi-Wan Kenobi show, I was like, oh, this is my time. And then they dropped that it was gonna be taking place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. And then the best part was they announced, oh yeah, Hayden Christensen's coming back. Are you kidding me? Needless to say, this was my most anticipated Star Wars show. So far, we have 5 episodes at the moment. Episode 6 has yet to come out. It's exceeded my expectations of what I personally wanted from this. I wanted to see a broken, vulnerable Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's what we got. We also got a little bit more than what I was expecting. The whole point of the show is not about the mission. The whole point of the show is about Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's called Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's not like the physical things that happen, it's more about the mental journey that Obi-Wan goes on in this show. It's mostly about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader's like friendship and like relationship they have and how it's strained. The last time we see Obi-Wan Kenobi really in the prequels is Revenge of the Sith, and he's delivering Luke and Leia. And then the next time we see him again is in A New Hope when he finds Luke. I don't really get to see that in between of like how Obi-Wan dealt with everything that he's ever known, like be destroyed and like completely flipped on its head. How does he feel about that? Anakin, like his brother, really turns on him and becomes evil. He was supposed to be the chosen one. Obi-Wan really has to deal with that in this show and like the mental toll it takes on him physically too and emotionally. Like he's dealing with a lot of ish because that was a lot of trauma that he went through. This show is more about his trauma and his like emotional journey, his character journey that he goes on to get to a place where, not where he was in Revenge of the Sith or where he was previous to all this, but to a point where he doesn't necessarily blame himself for everything that happened with Anakin, because it's not his fault necessarily, because no one knew the Chancellor was evil, quote unquote. They didn't know he was Emperor Palpatine, so like how are they supposed to know Anakin was going to turn to the dark side? They didn't really know. They could, like, there were hints of it throughout, but like you don't automatically assume someone that you trained from a young age to now this like full-grown dude is gonna turn out evil. You just don't know. I mean, they can probably sense it a little bit, like, because Anakin has arrogant, he desires power, like he's too impulsive. It doesn't necessarily make you a bad guy. But yeah, we're gonna go into spoilers now, so if you have not seen Obi-Wan Kenobi, please leave, because I don't want to spoil it for you, because you don't want to be spoiled on this beautiful goodness. We good? You've seen the show, or if you haven't, you've left? Great. Let's start with spoilers. This whole show, I didn't know what the overarching plot was going to be. I knew there was most likely going to be an emotional journey for Obi-Wan dealing with everything that happened with Anakin, because that's a lot. I would say that's the bigger plot of this entire show, not him going to rescue Leia, which I had no idea was, I had no idea we were going to see young Leia in this show at all. That was like a really cool thing. I was like, oh my god. Show is more so a journey that Obi-Wan Kenobi goes through and dealing with the trauma, because all he's known is the way of the Jedi, being a Jedi Knight. On a dime, everything he's ever known comes out to be completely false. Chancellor is actually Emperor Palpatine, who works for the dark side. Anakin becomes Darth Vader. Everything he's ever known is completely crumbling and destroyed, and so he's left to pick up those pieces, and he's like, what, trying to wrap his brain around it, while also trying to wrap his brain around that Anakin betrayed him and there's nothing he can do about it. So much guilt. He feels so much guilt, and so like everything is his fault. He trained Anakin enough, he felt like he didn't see the signs quick enough, he felt like he did Anakin bad, like he feels like he failed Anakin, which in all honesty, you didn't really, because Anakin, they said about Star Wars Celebration 2 is that Anakin's biggest flaw is his emotions, and unfortunately it's also his greatest strength is his emotions. But at the same time, that's his downfall. His love for Padme, going against the Jedi code of you can't marry anyone, you can't have kids, because everyone says your emotions cloud your judgment. Yeah, but at the same time, emotions are part of being a human being. That's the one thing I've always disagreed with the Jedi code, not letting your emotions dictate your actions, but it's like emotions are part of being human. They make you who you are. So if you don't have emotions, it's kind of like you're just a robot. Humans deal with emotions. That's part of being a human, is having humanity. Yeah, it becomes Anakin's downfall of wanting too much power, and wanting to save Padme. I feel like if it wasn't for that Jedi code, then he would still be a good guy and Padme wouldn't have died of a broken heart. It's just so sad because like Obi-Wan and Anakin had such a strong brotherly bond. And like when Anakin slowly was turning to the dark side, Obi-Wan could not believe it. He was like, how can this boy who I met at a very young age, who loved to pod race, how can he, who I thought of as a brother, how can he go and be, how could I not see it coming? He feels like it's his fault, like he failed Anakin, like he failed the Jedi code. That's why he cuts himself off, not only because he's being hunted by Inquisitor, he's also going into hiding because he's like done. Like everything he's ever known is like crumbling. So because he's been in hiding, everything he's kind of learned is rusted, is very rusty. Because it's been 10 years of him hiding out, he's forgotten how to use the Force, how to wield a lightsaber, because he buried his lightsaber, which, by the way, he buried his lightsaber in the desert with Anakin's lightsaber. That is, oh God. So many feelings in this show, man. Just kind of like forgotten how to use these skills that he learned. And it's so realistic that Obi-Wan Kenobi forgot how to use a lightsaber properly, how to use the Force, like lost touch with it for like 10 years. So when he has to save Leia for the first time, when she's falling off that building, trying to catch her to use the Force, it's painful for him. He's straining himself because he hasn't used it in 10 years, so therefore it's like he's lost the skill almost. When he was a Jedi, he was using this Force or wielding a lightsaber pretty much every single day. It's been 10 years, 365 days times 10. That's that many days of going without using the Force to protect yourself, but also because you just don't trust the Force really anymore because it could kill you by using it. And he has to slowly throughout every episode use his lightsaber again, use the Force again, so that way that when we get to the last episode, he is like not at peak Obi-Wan Kenobi like he was in the prequel trilogy, but he's got to a place where he can stand against Darth Vader, potentially kick his ass. We're not necessarily kick his ass, but like beat him in that fight. And it's very understandable why Obi-Wan Kenobi does not want to take the mission. Senator Organa comes to Obi-Wan and is like, I need your help, Obi-Wan. I need you to help me find Leia. She's been taken by some pirates. By the way, she's been taken by Reva, who is an Inquisitor, because she's been on the hunt for Obi-Wan for so long. I mean, Darth Vader's been on the hunt for Obi-Wan for so long, but she is so keen to get to Obi-Wan, to get what she deserves. She's just like adamant, like, I will bring him in. I will get Obi-Wan. No one else will. She's got that evil plan in the back of her pocket. Doesn't really go as planned. And Obi-Wan just is very hesitant. He said at first, he's like, I don't want to take it. I don't want to do it. Find someone else. I'm not the man I used to be. And he's not wrong. He's been cut off from the Force for so long. Obviously, if he uses the Force and comes out as a Jedi, as we see, it could kill him because the Inquisitors are looking for him, obviously. They're hunting all Jedi, so they can put them in that freaking encased, like, Jedi, like, prison trophy room in the bottom of the Inquisitor tower. That was scary. That was like, WTF, Anakin. Not only is Obi-Wan, like, turned off to the Force, he's tired. We lost. That's it, we lost. I've had enough, and I don't blame him. The whole Senate and like the Republic just crumbled and turned into the First Galactic Empire. This was happening right under our noses and we could do nothing. On one hand, I'm like, Obi-Wan, don't give up hope. Like Jyn Erso says, rebels are built on hope. You gotta hope. But also, he's been through so much, not just with losing the entire, like, Senate, the Republic, but also in Anakin. He lost, like, Anakin, and that was, like, has a huge impact on him. He has nightmares about it, which is just like, oh, God, Obi-Wan, it's not your fault. You didn't know. He has trauma from it. He's traumatized by it. It's just so sad. Bail Organa comes to Tatooine. Leia's important, too. She's just as important as that boy. You have to help her, Obi-Wan. This is the first time Obi-Wan's gone off-world in, like, 10 years. That's gotta be a whole new experience for him. Because the thing that I love about young Leia is that she's just as sassy and such a spitfire as Carrie Fisher was as Princess Leia, and I love that. This is definitely a young Leia. See, I wish Carrie Fisher was still alive so she could see young Leia and just like praise the young actress. Oh, I just wish she was still alive. I also love that moment where she fires back at her cousin. She says thank you to the droid's name, and her cousin is like, you don't need to have manners when talking to a lower life form. And then she goes, then I guess I don't need manners when I'm talking to you. Oh, you love a little spitfire, sassy Princess Leia. Honestly, I didn't know if the whole story, this whole series was gonna be him saving Leia, but the fact that it is just him getting Leia back to Alderaan. Honestly, I am perfectly here for that because so much of the original trilogy, like New Hope, etc., is really focused on Luke. Whereas I feel like this show, this is really focused on young Leia. Obi-Wan has been watching Luke, so he has a like inkling of what Luke is like, but he doesn't really get to know Leia very much. It makes even more sense that he now has forming some bond with Leia, because then when Leia asked for his help in A New Hope, being like, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope, you served my father in the Clone Wars, there's already that connection. Like, yeah, it makes total sense why she would go to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Though she only knows him as Ben and not as Kenobi, it even makes more sense now why she would go to Ben, because her father trusts him so much, but also because she has that small connection with Ben. She trusts him already. So many beautiful Obi-Wan Kenobi moments when he after saving her from Reva in episode 4, he holds her hand, she leans into him. Oh my god, he's such a good uncle. On that little truck thing, I think it's in episode 3, Obi-Wan's she reminds me so much of her mother. And they're trying to fake being father and daughter, but you know that's a genuine statement. You know that Leia reminds Obi-Wan so much of Padme, because Padme was a badass, feisty fighter, leader. Seeing her resemble the qualities of both Anakin and Padme is gotta feel so heartwarming for Obi-Wan, because he's really lost both of them, but at the same time it's gotta feel so sad being she'll never know her real parents. Speaking of sad moments, it was more like, oh shit. Obviously in A New Hope, we already know Obi-Wan knows that Darth Vader is Anakin. So when did he find out? Did he always know that Anakin didn't die? No, he did not. It is when Reva is chasing him down in episode 2 where she's like, Anakin's alive. You can see, and this is why Ian McGregor is a phenomenal actor. Phenomenal. You can just see the emotion in his eyes alone of they're widening, and he's like, oh shit. You can see he's on the verge of oh my god. Anakin dying is bad enough because Obi-Wan feels guilty that he led to his demise and led to him turning this way. You were supposed to be the chosen one, Anakin. You were supposed to save us. You can see that hurt at the end of Revenge of the Sith when Obi-Wan says that. You can see that he's so upset while Anakin's crawling. But to know that Anakin is alive, not only must feel joyous relief because I didn't kill him, but at the same time it's oh shit, he's succeeded. He's Darth Vader. The reason why the Empire is now taking over. He became this cruel, vicious leader. It presents another problem of, was he better off dead than being alive as Darth Vader? Because how much chaos, how much destruction, devastation is Vader leaving in his wake? Clearly a lot. And when they square off for the first time since Revenge of the Sith in episode 3, I lost my shit. I lost it. Some notes on my phone that I'm just gonna read through and talk about, because there's so much going on in my head, I can't keep a straight thought process. In episode 3, oh my god, so much good shit happens in episode 3. Darth Vader's back. See him in the BAFTA tank. Then you see him get out of that BAFTA tank. He's starting to put on the Darth Vader suit, you know, getting the fake robot arms, fake robot legs, you know, getting the headpiece come down. And Christensen in that suit is just he's back as Darth Vader. This is so cool. Love that whisper that Obi-Wan does at the beginning of the episode. He's coming, master. That was chills. Gave me chills because Obi-Wan's terrified and Darth Vader wants him to be terrified of him. I love that analogy of Leia asking Obi-Wan, what's the Force like? Obi-Wan says, are you afraid of the dark? She's like, yes. And he says, how does it feel to turn on the light? And she says, safe. That's a really perfect analogy for what Obi-Wan is kind of going through right now. He's afraid of Darth Vader, of what Anakin became / what he's continuing to do as Darth Vader. Consumed by it. By learning to accept and deal with what Anakin has become, how it is not Obi-Wan's fault, then he will find the light, feel somewhat safe again. So I think once Obi-Wan starts to not necessarily forgive himself or come to terms with what Anakin's become, I think once he starts to realize it's not my fault, maybe start to deal with it a little bit more, you couldn't save Anakin, you have to move on from that. I think then find the light, or at least find a similar place to the light. In episode 3, we meet an undercover agent, Talia, who is kind of working with Quinlan from Clone Wars, which is so cool. We don't see him in this episode, but it was so cool to have his name dropped. They're kind of doing this Jedi protection program where they help Jedi get a new identity, a new name, and help them go on their way and relocate them so the Empire doesn't hunt them down, which is a very cool thing. I always knew that with Inquisitors and Rebels, there had to be some type of protection program for Jedis. If all the Jedi were dead, what would the Empire do? They'd kind of be bored out of their ass. So there's gotta be something for them to do. It's nighttime and they get into that village and they're going down this secret tunnel to like get Leia back to Alderaan. Who decides to show up on the planet? Darth Vader himself shows up on that planet, and Obi-Wan can feel it. He feels something in him, like maybe it's a pain, maybe it's a memory, but he feels something. And instead of, you know, maybe continuing to go down that path and get the fuck out of here because Darth Vader's after your ass, looks out the window, and then that's the moment like Darth Vader can sense him. I know he can sense him, and I'm just like, Obi-Wan, get out of there. I'll distract him. I'll buy you some time. Get Leia out of here. I'm like, Obi-Wan, what are you doing? You spent 10 years in hiding from all of these people, and now you're just like, Granted, he didn't know that Anakin was alive then, but like still, if he succeeded in becoming Darth Vader, don't you think he'd be a bad guy now and want to kill you? Even if you want to talk to him and like have a conversation, Darth Vader don't want that. He just wants you to suffer. He wants to kill you. So like, probably get out of there quick as possible if it were me, just saying. Now, we've seen Darth Vader do some like scary, chilling things, but this Darth Vader in this show, he's still pretty new Darth Vader. He's not like the more calm, sophisticated Darth Vader. It's only been 10 years and he's still got, I feel like he still has Anakin in him. He's trying to destroy Anakin and we see that he's kind of like gotten rid of him in the New Hope movies. This is still a fresh Anakin, so he's unhinged. His desire to take down Obi-Wan Kenobi is consuming him. All he wants to do is bring down Obi-Wan Kenobi to the point where he is force choking people, force snap someone's neck. Holy, this is a whole nother level, Darth Vader. Force choking someone while dragging them. To be fair, this is the same guy that in Revenge of the Sith killed a bunch of younglings. We do see him slash some younglings in this show in episode 5 in a flashback. Ew, it's so sad, 'cause like that's also Anakin, the little boy that loved to pod race. He's also like a really bad guy right now that's like killing kids and killing innocent people. It's just so hard to like forget that sometimes. At this point, Obi-Wan is just his prey. Darth Vader is the hunter, Obi-Wan's the prey. Obi-Wan runs away, he's got his lightsaber with him, and you see this shot of Obi-Wan in the distance and like Darth Vader like leg down, he just flings out his lightsaber and like illuminates everything in red. And Obi-Wan, honestly, I'd probably do the same thing as Obi-Wan. He runs the other way. He's terrified. And I don't blame him, because I'm terrified too at this point. Finally, after so long, Obi-Wan unveils his lightsaber. He's got his lightsaber. Oh yes! Cool! It's glowing blue. Everything's illuminated in blue. Darth Vader like sneaks up behind him and they like cross blades and it's like everything's illuminated in like this magenta color mixing the blue and the red together. It's just a really beautiful like sequence of shots. The lighting is so gorgeous. Darth Vader's like, you're weak, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You've gotten weaker over these years. Well, I've gotten stronger. Like Obi-Wan is barely able to hold his own, which is understandable because like he's been turned off to the Force for 10 years, whereas Darth Vader has been getting stronger. This is a very calculating, twisted Darth Vader because he wants Obi-Wan to suffer. He wants to prolong this fight so we can watch Obi-Wan suffer, see him stumble, see him be weak. He's like, yes, I have the upper hand. I'm going to toy with you. And he does toy with him. He wants him to suffer like he did in a twisted way. He's enjoying the chase. He's enjoying Obi-Wan being afraid of him. He wants Obi-Wan to be afraid of him. So that Obi-Wan is like so scared and terrified that Darth Vader can just be like, ha ha ha, who's the master now? That's why he drags Obi-Wan Kenobi through that fire. He drags Obi-Wan through some fire that Darth Vader lights with his lightsaber, which is honestly so badass. And Obi-Wan's just sitting there, like his arm is like burning up in the fire. He's getting burnt to a crisp. And you can just see the fire, all dark outside. You can see the fire illuminated through the eyes of Darth Vader's mask. And it's a beautiful shot of like, yes, I went through all this pain and torment too when I was burnt alive. It was torturous, it was painful. I want you to feel that pain, feel that torment. I want to toy with you and torture you and make you feel all this pain like I felt. What the fuck? But does let Obi-Wan go because I also believe he wants a better fight. It's been 10 years of tracking down Obi-Wan Kenobi. He wants that revenge fight to be worth it. He wants it to be a beautiful, like amazing, great fight. He knows what Obi-Wan is capable of. He doesn't want a petty fight. He doesn't want a petty win. He wants to fully beat him. He wants to be able to prove that he stood against a Jedi Knight as powerful as Obi-Wan and came out standing, came out winning, came out the other side as the victor. Unfortunately, he's too confident, he's too arrogant, he desires way too much, that he thinks that he will win that fight, that they will eventually have again after they fight in episode 3. But because he has all this amazing power, he thinks, I'm gonna beat him. He's weak now. But unfortunately, like we said, his emotions, his arrogance is his downfall. Because while he is like trying to prolong this battle, Obi-Wan is getting stronger. He's learning how to use the Force again, to where when they do face off again, Darth Vader's gonna be like, I'm so cocky, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna win, you're weak. But then Obi-Wan Kenobi's gonna like have groove back, and he's gonna show Darth Vader, no, I'm not weak, I'm gonna beat you, and why he'll lose that battle. But then, obviously in A New Hope, he like kills Obi-Wan pretty much right away because he's learned that mistake. He's not gonna make the same mistake twice. He's not gonna underestimate Obi-Wan Kenobi's abilities. He's not gonna be too cocky the next time they do fight, because the next time they do fight in A New Hope, then he does end up killing Obi-Wan because he did not underestimate him. And Leia goes to a tunnel, but she ends up getting captured by Reva. So then episode 4 is Obi-Wan going to the Inquisitor's like Tower Kingdom, which is like probably not a smart move. I will say that scene though where one of the stormtroopers' bullets hits the glass and they're underwater, and Obi-Wan's trying to like hold back the pressure to the right moment, and obviously he's struggling, he's straining himself doing that. Stormtroopers come through the door and he's like, oh, hold your breath, stormtroopers, you ready for a dip? And he just like lets all the pressure of the water building up come and just hit the stormtroopers. And I love that shot, the little hallway where they just were, and the doors are closed and you can see water slowly coming through the door, but then in the windows you can see stormtroopers like bobbing up and down in the water. I liked it, that was pretty funny. Unfortunately, he's still the learner. Darth Vader is still the learner. Obi-Wan is still the master. Even if he's not the strongest right now, you don't always need to use physical force. Speaking on that, what leads us into episode 5 opens on flashback. Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan and Anakin clothing, but I believe it is before the Attack of Clones movie, because Anakin still has his hand. He doesn't have it cut off by Count Dooku, and they're fighting each other. I love the parallels of them fighting to what's happening to now present day Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. Parallels to the relationship and their dynamic right now and in the past. Anakin is always trying to prove himself. He's letting his emotions get the better of him. Too ambitious, and that is automatically his downfall. That's Vader's downfall of missing to nearly catch Obi-Wan in the last part of this episode. It's like when Reva and Obi-Wan are making their plans, all Darth Vader will see is Obi-Wan. He just sees Obi-Wan. That's all he can think about is, I want to capture him. I want to take Obi-Wan for myself. He can't see that Obi-Wan and the rebels have another plan. He just sees, I can get Obi-Wan. Leads to like Obi-Wan getting away is Darth Vader. That's so cool that when Darth Vader comes charging in like, I'm a badass, he like, the ship's about to take off and he grabs it with the Force. It was like a holy shit moment as he's doing that, so consumed. Another ship that was behind it like takes off, and who consumed by getting Obi-Wan that he doesn't see other possibilities, he doesn't see other game plans. He's too laser focused on Obi-Wan to see other outcomes, to see other things. I mean, granted, he does see Reva like sneaking up on him to try to take him out, because facts in the first episode of younglings and Anakin coming after them, and one of those younglings was Reva. She laid down and played dead with the other younglings so that they wouldn't take her away, they wouldn't kill her, which she's playing the long game. The fact that she invaded the Empire, pretending to be an Inquisitor to take out other Jedi, just so that she can get to Darth Vader in the end. She's playing the long game, and I respect Reva for that. She's a badass. I totally understand why she doesn't trust Obi-Wan either right away. She's like, the last Jedi that like I thought was here to save me ended up slaughtering all of my family, my friends, so why should I trust you? Which makes perfect sense why she's also hunting Jedi, because yeah, she's trying to get to Darth Vader, but at the same time, I don't think she fully trusts other Jedi either because of what happened with Anakin, which also makes perfect sense too. How do I trust you when I know a previous Jedi like killed all my friends? How do I know you're not gonna kill me? She gets her lightsaber out and is gonna like slice Darth Vader. I'm like, girl, this is Darth Vader. What do you think you're gonna do? He literally just used the Force to bring down a ship. What do you think you're gonna accomplish by going after him? Clearly nothing. He deflects every time she like slings her lightsaber at him. He doesn't even have to move a finger, literally. He just like forces the blade to stop because he's using the Force and he's so fucking powerful. And when she comes at him again, he just dodges like, it's no big deal, it's just another Monday for me. It's like, this is Darth Vader. What do you think you're gonna accomplish? he breaks her lightsaber in half. That moment where he's dual wielding lightsabers or just has the two in his hand, I could not help but see the parallels to Ahsoka dual wielding lightsabers, and I'm like, oh, this is so sad. I wanted him to dual wield those lightsabers. He does at one point, but all he does is stab her with both lightsabers, so that happened. Just watched the last episode of Obi-Wan. A lot of emotions, a lot of tears were shed, more so than I probably thought, because like I knew Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi squaring up again was going to be intense. Let's just start off with the biggest thing we all were hoping for this episode, is that rematch fight. And honestly, it was a really good rematch fight. Both chills and lots of tears were shed towards the ending of the fight. Again, his desire for Obi-Wan, just Obi-Wan, is consuming him, laser focused on Obi-Wan, that he just can't see that Obi-Wan's gotten really, really stronger. He does admit it, that like, you've gotten stronger, but that weakness is still in you. It can be the same thing about you, Anakin. Yes, you have all this power now, but you're still the arrogant, cocky Anakin Skywalker that you are. You're still too focused on proving yourself. I will say though, Darth Vader does like pretty much like beat the shit out of Obi-Wan when during their fight scene, as he brings all these rocks onto Obi-Wan, slashing them at him, basically punches the ground. So the ground opens up and Obi-Wan just crumbles into the ground. He's in this little pit and Darth Vader brings all these rocks on top of him, and Darth Vader's like, oh, he's gone, he's dead, walks away. No, he's not. And in that little pit, Obi-Wan is like force holding it up, like he's straining himself. You see, he starts seeing flashes of Luke and Leia, and that's what's important. That's what matters, is protecting Luke and Leia. That is kind of like his motivator throughout this entire show, really. What pushes him, motivates him to continue his fight with Darth Vader. Boy, does Obi-Wan come back swinging. Flashes his lightsaber so many times at Darth Vader, slashing him in the back, using the butt end of it to like jam it into Darth Vader's like voice control thing, to the point where he's having a hard time breathing. At one point, raises all these rocks from the ground and like starts chucking them at Darth Vader. And he gets so close and he is just like, I'm gonna do this final blow. Slashes Darth Vader's mask. You can see a crack. You can see Hayden Christensen's like burnt, crispy face. Obi-Wan looks like he's ready to like finish the job. He sees that human face of Anakin and he just kind of like stops dead in his tracks. It got me. He starts apologizing. He's like, I'm sorry I failed you, Anakin. I'm sorry. Can't do the finishing blow because he's like, Anakin, that's you, Anakin. And Darth Vader, you can hear a mix of Darth Vader's voice and Anakin's. And he's like, Anakin's no more. This is what's left. And it's just so sad. Because like, that's his brother. That's Obi-Wan's brother. He's so upset. He's so sad. He's like, I'm sorry I failed you. I'm sorry that I killed you. I'm sorry what I had to do. Anakin, Darth Vader says, you didn't kill me. I killed me. That's more true than we all think to believe, is Obi-Wan didn't kill Anakin. Anakin killed Anakin. By letting the darkness, the dark side consume him, letting power become his like motivator, his driving force, he turned himself evil. He killed Anakin and became Darth Vader. He's still so consumed by power, his desire to kill Obi-Wan, that he doesn't care, just wants to kill Obi-Wan. In a really weird way, it's not Obi-Wan that gets himself free of this guilt, free of this burden. It's really Darth Vader, Anakin, that really like awakens him and really heals him, because Obi-Wan's pouring his heart out, being like, I'm so sorry, Anakin. Anakin, Darth Vader doesn't care, consumed by this power, and it's really through that of Obi-Wan seeing that Anakin is no more. He's really gone. Obi-Wan has to come to terms with that, so it's really Darth Vader that pushed Obi-Wan to like come to terms with that and wrap up everything, which is very weird in a sense, but I think Obi-Wan really needed to see that. I really think he needed to see that Anakin is gone. He's way too far gone. I think it was not about facing Darth Vader and like killing him and fighting him. I think it was about facing Anakin and telling him he's sorry, pouring his heart out and being like, I wish I could have done better. Unfortunately, Anakin's so gone at this point. He's too far gone at this point that he doesn't care. You know, Reva, he's like going after Luke. She's going after him because she wants Luke, because now she knows that Luke is probably Darth Vader's son. Like, has her lightsaber up, Luke's unconscious, and she's about to do the killing blow to kill Luke. She can't. She can't because she sees herself. She sees the pain and the hurt that Anakin caused by killing all of her friends. Really, she would just become another Anakin by killing an innocent boy, had everything taken from her. She can't do that to Luke because it would just be like she's becoming Anakin. breaks down to Obi-Wan. She's like, I can't do it. I couldn't do it. You're not becoming him because you were showing mercy. You still have your humanity left. Power and your desire for more is not consuming you like it was consuming Anakin when he killed all those children. You didn't go through with it because you still have your humanity. You still see everything that was taken from you, and you can't take it from someone else because you have empathy, you have compassion, you have mercy. We're both really free. Obi-Wan has let all of the grief and the emotion out by apologizing to Anakin and seeing that Anakin is too far gone. Free from that burden now. Same thing with Reva. That's Anakin's son, Obi-Wan. He gets to meet Luke. Child Luke. I mean, I know he's met Luke before in the original trilogy, but he gets to meet Luke. That's Anakin's son. Yep, that's Anakin's son. God. Also, when he's introducing himself to Luke, he says, "Hello there." We finally get our hello there, and probably one of the best ways. That's a great way to do the one hello there. It's Master Qui-Gon! It's fucking Master Qui-Gon, Liam Neeson in the desert as a Force ghost. Oh my god, this is so cool. It's Master Qui-Gon in Ghost Force form. That was such a good show. This is exactly what I wanted from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. I really enjoyed this show for what we got. I really loved this show as a prequel lover, as an Obi-Wan Kenobi lover. I got what I wanted in this show. I'm still like reeling from this episode like I just finished it. Let me know what you guys thought about Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series, down in the comment section, and I will see you guys with another video very soon. Bye guys!